Hey, this is Steli Afti with Closer, and today I want to talk about confidence in sales and life in general. So I had lunch with my sales team. We have two new SDRs on the team, and we're discussing how to manage and handle objections when talking to prospects. And one of the new SDRs, she asked me, "Hey, you're teaching us to learn the objection management document, which is a document of our top 10 objections that people bring up and the answers to them." And she was like, "Well, you're teaching us to be kind of cloned monkeys versus being sales ninjas. We just know what the answer is, but we really don't understand the rationale of why this is the perfect answer, why another answer is not a better answer." And she was challenging me on that practice, which was awesome. So here was my response, and I thought this would be valuable to you guys as well. Number one, when it comes to managing objections, if you step back, what it truly is on a very high level is there's two human beings interacting and communicating with each other, and what you're truly trying to accomplish is a transfer in confidence. There's somebody that has doubts, fears, hesitations around your service, your product, your business, whatever their objection is around, and what you're trying to do when you manage to address that problem, that fear, is you're trying to make a transfer in confidence so that they believe less in their fear than in your confidence that this fear is not a real problem, or that what they're afraid of will never really happen. So if you understand that on a high level, managing objections and interacting in life in general is a lot of times nothing else than an exchange in clarity and confidence, then you start understanding that when you're responding to an objection, a lot of times it's not even about how the words, the content of what you say, but it's how you say it, right? Sometimes you can address an objection with something that's nonsensical, and the other person will just totally feel comfortable with that. Somebody might ask you, "Well, what about security? I'm really concerned about security on your platform." And you go, "You know what? That's an excellent question. We have over 5,000 customers that do 10 millions of transactions on our platform. We've proven in the last 3 years that we've grown dramatically, and in the market, even, media outlets like CNN and Bloomberg have written about us because we know what we do. What else is on your mind right now, dear prospect?" And a lot of times, just because you answered with confidence, the prospect will assume, "Oh, I guess my objection was being handled." Now, mind you, I've said nothing about fucking security, right? And I'm not saying that that's the way you should address that objection, but I just want to make an example that you can say the right words if you say them with hesitation, if you say them with fear, if you say them with doubt. You're not going to manage the underlying kernel of the objection, which is always an emotion, and that emotion is always disempowering on their end, something that makes the doubt, like clarity, be fearful of making a bad choice. Now, having said all that, the SDR told me, "All right, that all makes sense, Steli, but if it's about confidence, how do you get confident?" Because the rationale of the objection management document is to learn to address any of the top 10 objections in a sentence or two. And the reason why we want people to learn to do that is because if you know how to answer something in one or two sentences, you're able to answer it while maintaining eye contact if it's in person, or while maintaining a certain level of energy in your voice, because you're not up there in your head trying to compute the answer and oohing and going, that's a great question. And you're not going to be speaking for way too long because you're kind of coming up with what you want to say along the way. You're not going to be relying on your mood. If you're in a great state, you're going to give great answers. If you're in a shitty state, you're going to give shitty answers. You have a certain level of benchmark of professionalism. You're able to answer and manage any objection in one or two sentences, which in itself will communicate confidence. But then she asked, "Well, what's the secret of confidence in general?" And that uncovered an interesting point, because I hadn't really thought about that before. But here's my answer. I think the secret to confidence is failure and success. I think people that are only successful, success is important for confidence because success is the feedback loop that tells you that you're capable of something, that you have expertise and skill, and that you're able to accomplish something. That's incredibly important for confidence. If you don't have success, if you've never experienced success, you can't be successful, or you can't be confident at all, right? So you need success for confidence. But success is only the first building block. If all you've experienced in life has been success, if everything you've done in life have always been right, you can only get so confident. You can only get to a certain level of confidence because you're lacking the depth of character of knowing your true strength. Because the moment something gets hard, you're going to get really, really rattled by that because you're not used to hard. You're not used to doubt. You're not used to being, punched in the face and falling down. You're not used to that kind of adversity. So when you face it, you're going to struggle. So if the first building block of confidence is success, the second one is failure. And failure is so important. Going through really hard times, facing real massive challenges is so important to confidence because those are the moments where you truly learn about yourself, what you're made of, and what you are able to overcome. If you go through really hard times and you still make it up again and you still move forward and you still succeed and you overcome it, that builds a level of confidence. It's just at a different level. So when you talk to people that are the most confident people on this planet, those are usually people that went through a lot of success and a lot of failure, through some really fucking insanely hard times, way harder than anything that you've ever accomplished. So if you're able to do both, if you're an individual that's gone through success and failure, if you're able to make both parts part of your life, if you went through some real shit, chances are and odds are that you're a much more confident person. That confidence comes from a much more grounded and rooted place. If everything I've done was always a success, it's very shaky. It's not very deeply rooted because the moment I'm going to get challenged, I'm not going to have any reference to be able to point to on how I'm going to deal with this. Because I've never faced that kind of a situation before. But if I went through some real shit, some real heart-crushing, soul-crushing challenges, and I survived and I made it, when things get bad, I'm much more deeply rooted. And my confidence comes from a different place, from a place of knowing that I will succeed and I can overcome this no matter how hard it is at this very moment. So there you go. That's the secret to confidence in life and in sales, success, and failure. You need both, and both together make up for somebody that has a tremendous amount of confidence. Now, I hope this was useful. I'm wondering what your thoughts are, what your examples are, what your feedback is on this. So make sure to comment, make sure to tweet at me at Stella and let me know your thoughts and share your experiences in confidence in sales. And make sure to subscribe to blog.close.io to get these blog updates moving forward automatically in your inbox. All right, let's all go out there and create more success and create more challenges and failures, create more value and build up our confidence and our clarity, because a more confident and clear, a world full of confident and clear people will be a better world at the end of the day. All right, go get them.